Greetings, everybody, and welcome back. Sorry for the hiatus. I was dealing with some personal issues, and also, you know, having a full time job does not make it easy to do what you want. So let's get out our little pad here. I will not be painting today. I'm going to instead be working on sub assemblies and basically just making a bunch of models that have been sitting in the backlog of my pile of shame. I did want to show some new models that I got. These are some of Catalyst Games Battletech minis. I know they are currently grayscaled and unpainted, but you learn to live. I got the clan. I want to say it's ad hoc. Yeah, the ad hoc box. It comes with a bunch of different models, and I forgot what I did with the cards for them naturally. Otherwise, I would have grabbed that. But now I am listening to. What do I want to listen to? You know what? Let's get our music going, and let's go with Assassinorum Kingmaker. It's one of my favorites. Sorry I can't play the audio for you guys. That would be a very big infringement of copyright. And I don't want to get my channel whacked first thing coming back. Yeah, I love these little models. Lots of detail. What I've found with these guys is dry brushing is great for them. They're not going to be what I'm working on. I'm going to be instead working on Warhammer miniatures. Alright. Let's get going. We're going to start out with the Helverins. Yeah, Knight Armigers. Because I like them, they're small. I don't really like the current meta of Warhammer, to be honest. It's not my favorite. And another thing is, they don't show a lot of what makes knights really cool. And that's a bit of a hard thing to explain, just staring at the models. But what I'm talking about is the what's the word for it? There's other things with it. Trying to think of the right words, but there's a feature of knights that make them unique and I think cool is ion shields, and you don't see that as far as gameplay rules. You don't see that practically anywhere save for the actual games, and I think that's sad. Anyways, I'm diving in here. I already broke these models down into their selective components. I am really just kind of making sure that I can put them together. I believe I've got one armature each. I'm just trying to find the right components. Hello to the one person watching me. How are you doing tonight? I know it's been a while since I've been here. Make sure that my screen is on. There we go. And let's get my banners going. There we go. It's just calm, relaxing. Not really stressing about anything today. That back. Get blue going. And don't worry, I do have ventilation. My window is open right now, so don't worry too much about the glue. Another thing that I don't really like about the current meta for knights is they rely a lot on armatures. And even with chaos knights, it's just war dog spam or you're dead. And then also with imperial knights, it's armature spam. And you don't really get the majesty and ambiance that some of the bigger models could have, arguably. But I don't own GW, so I can't make those decisions, even though I would totally make those decisions. And I mean, that kind of goes with everything, is that within them is I've seen a lot of the factions lose what makes them unique. And it just makes it seem sad to me because, I mean, especially in what was talking about earlier, is that the knights seem to be so heavy and imposing, and yet if you have anti-tank, they're basically worse than useless. And oh boy, okay, you almost got stuck there. Scoot myself a little closer to this, to my desk, so you can actually see me. And I guess the best example is with knights, because I mean the bigger models should have more presence on the battlefield than they right now in the meta they don't. It's just, hey, if you have some form of anti-tank, it really sucks for the knight player, and then if you don't have anti-tank, the knight player is going to have a field day stomping you into making you into a crater, which I do get. I mean, it's not. I do understand that, but at the same time, I wish they featured things like the ion shield, which could totally be a part of the game. And I think it would be rather easy. Before the start of a round, a knight declares where it's throwing its ion shield, and then you have that ion shield has so many hit points at so many toughness, and then if you exceed that, it pops, and the knight has to roll like a 6-up save to regain its ion shield. And I mean, you can have stratagems focused around just being big and tanky, or you could have stratagems focused around being more fast and maneuverable, where you kind of ignore having an ion shield. So I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like Warhammer's stepping, especially competitive wise, it's stepping into not the wrong direction, but what I feel is an incorrect direction. You know, like, it's not necessarily for me to judge an entire game. That's not fair on my part. But as a consumer, I'm like, I wish they would do this instead of that. So I'm just, I guess that's what I feel more than anything else, is that I feel they're being represented differently than how I would expect. I'm not really going to be putting a whole lot of this model together. Like, I'm basically just building the chest in its components, then the hip and legs. Go check. Perfect. Don't necessarily need to show that. My bad. I mean, that's the other thing. Is like, I just feel like a lot of what modern day Warhammer boiled down to is not how they're representing it in the model, and I don't know, that just feels like the wrong approach to me. Don't tell me. Sorry, I'm hunting for a very, very, very small part. It's this little ladder thing that goes on the outside. I also gotta find the hood. There's the hood. Where? Oh, where? Aha! See you. Yeah, tiny details. I'm gonna try and get into a better schedule as far as uploading. Also, kind of want to find a new tabletop group. That would be nice. I love tabletop so much. Like, gosh, you can get up to some really wacky and crazy stories if you're not only a skilled player, but you understand the rule of cool. And you don't try and shy away from it. When you encourage rule of cool, to an extent, it allows for stuff. And I think that's, again, what Warhammer's steering away from, is just... things are supposed to feel cool when they don't. It's really obvious. But again, that's tabletop Warhammer. Lately, we've had such fun stuff, like Space Marine 2. Oh, come on. I'm not gonna... Did you actually sit in? Oh, no. Giant fingerprints all over this, but you're not wanting to sit still. And I haven't also given up on my original idea of using this channel to document my attempt to do a golden demon. Hey, Pepe, how you doing? Yeah, I haven't been able to dedicate enough time to really put forth what I feel is good effort to streaming. And with it being the holidays, I actually do have the time for once, especially where I work. End of the year, it gets crazy. So I just decided, you know what, why not? Also, I kind of needed a break, a personal break from a lot of things, and I just felt stepping away was my best option there. Oh, gotta love component hunting. Again, I broke down these not too long ago. I was just kind of sitting and watching TV. Actually watching that new Secret Level show, and they did a really good job for representing games in a different light than I was anticipating. I think the one that surprised me the most was the Concord one. Like, and I've watched gameplay of it. Had the developers and the people gone into the space rogue part of it instead of the multiplayer end of things, we would have had a much, much better game in the end, and it wouldn't be known for its awful reputation now. I hope everyone's holiday seasons were good. They got to see and spend time with family that they care about, and I know I got to translate, and that's part of why I've been busy, is a lot of my relatives contacted me about wanting to spend the holidays with me, and so I ended up having to do a bunch of extra shit in order to, get ready for that. One thing was teaching myself how to make eggnog, which, by the way, if you have heard from anybody that homemade is better than store-bought, it absolutely is. They are 100% correct, and should absolutely teach yourself how to make eggnog if you enjoy eggnog, because it's delicious. The recipe I was using called for a little bit of peppermint, and that ended up tasting like ice cream. Like, it tasted like liquid ice cream. Now, I get to hunt in my little baggie of stuff for the hip assembly. So, to help myself with painting this guy, I'm going to leave a lot of the armor panels off of these models and broken into pieces. That way, again, when I go to paint these, it's not a pain in the butt trying to maneuver my brush around 800,000 details. And I can instead focus it into where I want it to. Come on, stick together. Thank you. And we just hold it for a little bit. I guess it is more the same as far as what I'm doing, but I don't know. That's the head. Groobly. Groobly. Wow, English much. Man. You know why I sealed the bag up? I should just leave the bag open. Leave the bag open. There we go. After the hat. I got a message on Discord. Give me one moment, everybody. Open that up. Oh, sorry about that. I had to respond to a ton of Discord messages that Apparently, I haven't looked at it since freaking Christmas, and feel really bad because apparently people had tried to get a hold of me, and I did not see their messages. Feels bad, man. But oh well, we've learned by Tide. I'm not sponsored by Tide, by the way. That is just a catchphrase from my family. Just continuing to work on this. There's the hip. Now it's time to make the legs. There's something I love about the Mechanicus as I'm listening to the audiobook. Is that once you get up in rank, your augments can just go off the wall. Like, it's just this... It's basically like, there's no set, what's the word for it? There's no set, I can't even think of the word. No uniform design to them. Like, yes, you have the models, but, like, when you look at the books and whatnot, it's just so crazy. I gotta go hunt for that. Oh boy. Oh. Maybe I see it. Maybe I can get it right away. Wah! Okay. Sorry about that. Dropped a little piece onto the ground. Let's change up the music. There we go. Bit more lively. Really ought to get some jeweler's spectacles for this. Sorry about that, everybody. My roommate decided to barge in without letting me know. I really gotta get a sign that says recording in progress. Right now I'm just holding this because this particular foot, let's see if I can go better for the camera. The way it's bent at the foot puts a lot of pressure on the back end, so it tends to just pop off if you don't have it glued down properly. That's kind of what I was waiting for, so now it stands up perfectly. Alright. That's the legs done. Now we're moving on to the weapons. This is not a Titan, this is a Knight Armiger. So it is a small little, it's smaller than a Titan. Wow, 3 people. To be honest, I thought people would hardly remember, but I streamed. I think that'll help you model is dry fitting all of your pieces and making sure that you attach them in the correct manner. See, for this arm joint, we're supposed to have this thing free to move. But the rest of it free and open. Oh, and I splashed some on that. Another part of my frustration with the current Warhammer meta is just the... So, the Knight Armigers, these guys, the small ones, are supposed to be squires. So, my camera's in the wrong angle to do that hand motion, but they're supposed to be shorter and support the bigger guys. Right now, it is... You either Armiger or Hordog spam, depending on if you're Imperial Chaos, and screw any other tactic. And I find that silly because some of the bigger Titans, some of the bigger Knights are just so imposing, and they're supposed to be monarchs and knights, and like. Think feudal Europe. Like you had the footmen, right? These guys, your man-at-arms. Then you had your lord or landed knight, and those were the guys piloting the Quaestorus pattern. And then you had your monarchs, which would be the Dominus pattern, which are I have one, and good lord, is it giant. It's so big. And not in a haha funny way. It's like, when you think about the scale of them, Armigers are supposed to be anywhere between 50 to 75 tons, depending on your loadout, weapons, and ammunition, right? And then, on top of that, or the next stage up, is your Quaestorus. And that's supposed to be, I want to say, 150 to 200 tons. I know the Kestis pattern is supposed to be like 150 to 175. They're both roughly around the same weight-wise. And I think the Kestis is a little less, so I think they're about the 125, 150 ton range. And then you have the Dominus pattern, where you jump up, and it's like 400 tons, according to like books and lore. And that's huge compared to this guy, 50 to 75 tons versus 400 tons. Like, good lord. Alright. And we get the first weapon. This is the thermal spear. So it's like a hot beam lance, basically. So, the difference between an Armiger and a Helverin is the Helverins have the dual autocannons. I mean, you can really put whatever on whatever. I mean, who's really going to give a crap if you put an autocannon with a thermal spear or an autocannon with a chain glaive? Who's really going to tell you no? Oh boy. Make sure this can twist. Yes, I could magnetize the living hell out of these, but I was thinking about it the other day, and that's initially what I was going for, but I don't know enough about magnetization. I have to watch more videos and see people doing it and see what it actually looks like in order to fully buy into it. So, for now, I'm just going to make sure my guy can be movable and I can get it into the pose I want it to be in. And I think I'll be fine with that. Okay. And this is the chain glaive. I may... Yeah, that does look fun. It does look like fun. You slot in like that. I don't glue you. Oh, good lord. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I'm looking at the instruction manual right off camera, right about where my hand is. Mainly because I've I'm smart enough to do this by myself and really fucked up a model. In fact, it was my first night ever. It was and I still have the model. It was a Night Rampager, and I will eventually be fixing that one. I'll make a whole series out of it. That particular model, does it need some TLC? It needs some TLC bad. Glue, don't glue. Okay. I said this earlier, but I really have got to invest in some like jeweler's glasses. That would make doing this, especially for streams, so much easier, because then I could wouldn't feel obligated to just pigeon this so close to my chest. I could actually do this out where you guys can see it, and trust my giant gorilla hands to not screw it up. Come on backwards. Oh! Oh, thank God. Okay. And this is where we pay attention to the build guide. Ah. Minor heart attack. So, because this was turned around like that, I thought I had just screwed this model up. But That's how it sits in the model, because this is the right hand, this is the left hand. Oh no. No, you don't. Gotta keep twisting. Make sure that the model doesn't stick together. And that's another thing that you can do with the this kind of glue is just rotating. Oh boy. Just rotating pieces. I have that too right here, but I don't know. I like the tactileness of holding it, and if I'm being honest, what I really want is a second desk. I know, saying wants right after Christmas, but I want a second desk to be able to put all my hobby stuff onto, because right now this is half of my computer desk, and I don't know about y'all, but I do in fact feel a little squished. Then again, I am a fairly tall individual, so it's easy to feel that way. But I think actually we can go back and glue the... Let me look. I'm leaving the autocannon, or the... I believe I picked out the Melta gun. This guy. And then need to glue his face together. And I think we can glue the hip assembly together, and I think that's it. I think. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, because the hip assembly has two smaller components, and then it's just gluing the face together. Okay, cool. Nope. Nope. Alright, back to it. Wow, almost an hour in and I've only done one more of the 2, 3, 4, 10 of the 12 that exist in unbuilt pile of shame. I know, they're riveting video of me rooting around trying to find all the components. The last couple of things, because basically I need to glue the face together. I need to glue the main pinto weapon, which is a melt-a-gun, because melt-a-guns are badass. How this guy goes to get her, I believe you glue one leg in like that, with the other leg in like that, and there's a little spot for a little doodad to connect in that I gotta make. And then, and the best part I think about this particular model is either leg can go on either side. I think I'm gonna try and do the fencing stance that I'm comfortable with. It is left leg back, right leg forward. Right. I'd have to retitle the stream into just armatures. Because part of their benefit and part of their problem is that they're so wonderfully complicated. It's just like, good lord. I think I just did. No, I did not. Okay. These are so small. So I've also come up with a little bit of lore for my own faction, and basically it's a trio. That way I don't have to gonna sound lazy, but so I don't have to think about it too much. And it covers my personal favorite bit of Mechanicus lore is and just the lore behind all of that is the Secutors, or essentially the Mechanicus, the guys who do the code scrubbing for the Mechanicus. They are called Secutors, and I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if there was an entire, like, battleship of them? And, lo and behold, poking around the lore a little bit, there are Arc Mechanici, big ships. They kind of almost dwarf the normal Imperium ships, which are already freaking, like, so huge. And the fact that there's something bigger is slightly frightening. The Arc Mechanici are this. It's the Mechanicus version of the Imperium ships, but because it's Mechanicus, everything has to be the biggest. Period. Like, I think some of them make the Blackstone fortresses look like paperweights. That's how big they are. There's one in one of the books, Priests of Mars, or in one of the series, Priests of Mars. Fit. It is called Speranza. And I mean, a couple of its decks in the middle of the ship basically are training decks for Skitarii, a company of Cadians, and even a Titan, a Pocket Legio for the Titanicus, which are the actual big guys. And I was thinking, when I read that, I was like, holy crap, that's super cool. That's what I want. And also just my infatuation with Warhammer's done another dumb thing, is they've... Well, I guess it fits lore-wise, but it's dumb to me. They've made all the cool models for the Horse Heresy, essentially 30k, and that's... I gotta focus here real quick. Excuse me. And again, problems with knights is they're tiny parts in awkward angles, but together they make a giant whole. And oh, that's what I did with my BattleTech cards. Okay. Once I get this component into its spot, mighty tweezers, I will tell you all about it. Yeah, they've made 30k so cool looking. And they've basically taken the washboard effect to for it for 40k, which I get it. 10,000 years of losing tech and having the Imperium burn. Of course, being a big angry guy and throwing a I can't even say throwing a tantrum because, I mean, if you read the books, especially the new one, The End of the Death, it's sad. It is so sad and depressing because it's, at the end, it feels like Horus is realizing what he's doing, and it's very much of I am witnessing the people around me. Just because I'm angry my father lied to me, I'm witnessing people I trust, people I care about, follow me blindly off the edge of oblivion with no cause or concern, and all I want is for somebody to stop me. I want my brothers to question me, and they just question me unconditionally because I was the chosen war master. And when I discovered an unsavory truth and decided to go on the warpath against my father, they went along with it. And granted, the other creative primarchs had their own reasons. Hers was losing his mind. Magnus was big sad about how he got tricked and played, and I think I have that on backwards. And Mortarion especially getting tricked and played. Perturabo. It takes killing your dad so much time to realize you might be tripping. Yeah! That was also the Emperor's badge because he also saw them as nothing but tools. Like, he was so dejected by the state of the world. And a lot of people especially a lot of new people I've heard, come back with the argument of, well, he saw the fall of humanity, why didn't he just, like, fix it all? Why didn't he's supposed to be this perfect being? Yeah, he was living in seclusion up until this point, and, well, it's like, okay, do you know how to make a car? Do you know how to make a computer? Like, you may be a specialist in your own field. Like, for me, I study airplane mechanics and how to make them, right? I know next to nothing about making a computer or other things, and it's like, okay, how do I build? I have an idea on how to build it, okay? And I mean, he just witnessed technology get to such a gross statement, such a gross extent on the wider. Basically, humanity used the crap out of their own tech to an extent where the Emperor witnessed them screw up. And so he wasn't sure even what to keep. He's as much guessing at this as anybody else is. And I think that's the thing that isn't said. A lot of noobs just... I say noobs. A lot of new people just do not understand about Warhammer 40k is there's a subtext going on behind the scenes, and that it doesn't need to be said. But yeah, at the end of the death, it's very, very sad because you have a father realizing a man realizing he was supposed to be a father to these people as much as he was their leader and ruler, and there's only one of him. Start taking a small drink, and I might grab a bubbly here in a bit, because bubblies are delicious. Alright, I'm gonna do this the way I do Legos. Yes, this is considered apocryphal by many people who build Legos and build Warhammer. But I like dumping them all out into a big giant pile and then figuring it out from there. Yes, I know that's doing it the hard way, but some of my friends will say, that's a sign of masochism, you weirdo. And I look at them and go, stop analyzing me. Anyways. Got basically everything else that I don't need. And stuff like armor plates and whatnot, things that we're going to that get put on later after I've done painting up the model. Yeah, I will always like Warhammer. I feel not for the what GW wants me to like it for, but for my own enjoyment. I love these models to death. I think they are the coolest things on the planet, and I have probably talked with friends and family about them and learned more about them because I find them so fascinating. I find the concepts behind them so fascinating. And I mean, this really boils down to how I perceive things in my own imagination. That can be said with anybody, really. It is in the eye of the beholder. Is where beauty and all that lovely jazz lies. So I find it awfully special when people get me models, because they know it's something that I like. First, it's not just something I like, it's something I like artistically. Like, as much as this is a Warhammer model, I still feel I can put enough of an artistic flair on it that it makes it my model. There's no one else who can make a model that looks like it. And that might just also be my pride speaking. But I believe in putting full hog effort into things that I do. And it's not that GW makes liking Warhammer hard. It's just, I feel they're so focused on the buying metric. Like, God, if you look at the Space Marine armies, it is the subscription. It's the subscription army. Like, there's no way around it. And that's awful. Let's see it. To do that, I need to shave away. Change up the music again. Going through the 3 songs that I have. I mean, I could be insufferable, but I don't want to be. A while back, I made a thing for a Dark Heresy game I was running at the time, and I didn't end up using it because it was just so weird and bizarre, and like not enough people knew about Warhammer. I had a couple of people who were just like, this Dark Heresy game was their first introduction into Warhammer 40,000, the universe, and so wrong button. There we go. So they had no idea what I was referencing or talking about, but I took the entire book of Genesis out of the King James Bible, translated it into Latin first, then transcribed all of that into binary, had a computer voice read it over and over and over again, speeding it up, speeding it up, speeding it up, speeding it up, and I ended up with this. Let me play it for you guys. That, mind you, I have this on repeat. But this is what I imagine is constantly in Mechanicus, because Binaric is auditory. DW has always had an issue with flavor of the month. The reason that's so much more present and blatant. Yeah, but it's not just that. It's lack of, what it really boils down to is lack of cohesive communication and cohesive want for the tabletop game lore and what the writers are writing. And one of the things that I find terrible about that is that the writing is so good, so rich. It's like a 4-course meal of just rich, starchy food. You know, it's like black truffle operating. Like, you're gonna eat that and you're just sitting back going, oh my god, you know, and the tabletop game feels very much like the Campbell soup does chicken Alfredo. Like Alfredo out of like, you know what I mean, like the Chef Boyardee fucking like ravioli compared to like really high quality ravioli. And I know that's not fair. That's not a fair comparison. But for me, it feels very kiltered. If they're trying to go for one thing, and they have the resources to do it. I know they have the resources to do it. Another thing is just they've become so overly gross and large. That they've had to kind of sit back and re-examine what they want and what they are as a company. Sadly, and I mean, what that boils down to is how we, the market, interact with them, and I think I think it's just the malaise of a large corporation having to manage so many different aspects of the same universe that they're just kind of running into a brick wall in certain areas. Okay. Oh, I gotta stretch my hands and knuckles and back and all that. Take a moment to sit there and stretch. I heard the other day that streaming's not hard or streaming's very hard for other creators. No, it's not. It's really not. I think the thing that gets people the most is you have to get used to talking to a camera and not being like face to face with people. And I think that's where the difficulty comes into it. Is some people don't know how to do that. And some people also don't have inner monologues at all. I always look at those people and I'm like, life must be a series of short and flashy yet interesting things for you. No persistence. No thoughts. Just things happen and I slide to and fro. I think I might also try and make a Mechanicus costume for Halloween. At least a robe. I'll worry about the actual costume bits, because I have a problem. I love the way the Skitarii Marshal looks. I freaking love that model. It's so cool to me. And I also love the narrative version of the Magos priest cast having full reign on augments. Like in one of the other books, God damn it, I can't remember it. Pardon my French. I want to say it's like Tech Priest 40,000 or Warhammer 40,000 Tech Priest. Where you follow the tale of wow, I can't pronounce that name. Omnid Tokora. Good lord. And he doesn't look like how the models look like. Oh my, good lord, no. No, he is like, he looks like you cut up, at least how they describe it, is like you cut apart one of the Castellan robots and added the arms off of a robot to it. And then he's also got manipulator hands that do all of his code typing right in front of him, like 6 of them in a row in the pulpit, just typing away, doing calculations at like the speed of however fast he can type. And I think that's so cool. So I kind of want to, and the Skitarii Marshal model, I love the helmet. Good God, that helmet is awesome. Yes, it's kind of mishmash, but at the same time, like, I can see changing that a little bit. Because one of the things that the Skitarii they're not Skitarii, but Mechanicus has free reign over is, especially the priest cast, is their augments. So I can imagine like somebody who prescribes to this idea of being a heretic tech priest hunter, all right, and saying, "Well, I need to kill in the name of the Omnissiah, or not kill. I need to unalive people in the name of the Omnissiah faster and better. In order to do that, instead of augmenting myself with calculations, I give in to the other half of that, which is the bestial part of my brain, and say, all right, I am willing to augment myself to have a technologically advanced kind of beast-ish, and you can say that that's heretical. Well, yes, but where's the line then? Is where what I'm asking, and that's kind of the theme for my whole get up and army is like, all right, where does one say that the animal part of the brain should stop? Like, because the way they describe certain titans and certain other things you can plug into is it's not intelligent. Okay, I'm gonna retract my sentence there. It's not intelligence as we know it. It is very much like a watching like a big cat or a lion or a wolf stalk prey. Like it's that kind of bestial calculations, that terrible, terrible like hunter ability, and that's kind of what I wanted when I imagined building a costume for myself and making these miniatures, especially the Mechanicus ones. That's what I imagine diving into. Is they are so obsessed with hunting heretics, they've committed a bit of techno heresy in that they've augmented themselves to use that part of their mind more and give it more control, give it more intelligence. So it functions like a sub-program in them. And you know, there's such things as like hidden command codes and whatnot, and so that idea kind of expounded into, all right, there are dark mechanics. There are already a conjoined group because you want to keep them all together of Space Marines, Mechanicus personnel, Knights, and Titans, because those are arguably my favorites. And that's when I make stuff, I want to feature that. So that's what I've come up with. It's this kind of little. It's smaller than a lot of things because of their training. Because I spend so much time training in between the stars. They're incredibly deadly about like them, which I know is kind of a thing. I apologize, everybody. I have to leave now because apparently I have guests. So, thank you for joining me. Let me quickly hop over to my.
Ain't but one man in this world that can satisfy me. That's the man that leaves me rocking on the deep blue sea. I mean the deep blue sea. My man's on the ocean, bobbing up and down. He belongs to Uncle Sam, but he's all